It's very asymmetrical.
Oh, hey, Iron Man, you're downgraded. See, sir?
You suck.
Did you just fart?
Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another toy review, and today we're taking a look at a Marvel Legends, well, not really a Marvel Legends, but an Iron Man figure from the 2009 movie, and it's Titanium Man. And if you don't know who this character is, don't worry, he's not the biggest Iron Man villain, but he's also not the smallest. I really didn't even recognize who this was. It wasn't until my friends over at the Marvel Legends community on Facebook, thanks guys, I appreciate it, pointed out who this was. When I think of Titanium Man, I think of the big gaudy green armor, and this really doesn't have it, which was a bit of a surprise. Now, I got this figure from my local flea market. I bought a big bag of toys for like $5. This was one of the figures in it. I knew it was some kind of Marvel Legendy type toy, but, you know, I didn't really know. I don't remember this in the Iron Man toy line, but apparently that's where he's from, and it's funny because he wasn't even in the movie, although I think he'd make a pretty decent bad guy. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figure. So here we have Titanium Man here, and a gray figure on a gray background. It's my enemy! And it doesn't help I'm filming this at night, so my light is never as good at night as it is during the day. But I guess it works. So yeah, I mean, this is a pretty decent figure. I actually like the sculpt. I like the look of it, and I'll kind of take a closer look here in a second. But what really caught me was the fact that I like it so much more than I do the standard green armored version of this guy. Which I know a bunch of people just went, "No! Damn you!" And that's okay. He's not going to be to everybody's taste. But I like how he's more real world, which, of course, the movie figures tend to be. And if you don't know who this character is, it's Boris Belinsky, I believe, and he's basically the Russian Iron Man. Well, one of them. There are two, really. You've got this guy, who's the second one. The first one's a Crimson Dynamo, and I think he was part of the Red Guard, or whatever that Russian version of the Avengers was. And he's kind of on par with Iron Man. Really good character. I really, really do like him. Hope we get a Marvel Legends of him, actually. And then this is the second guy, and he's not built as well. So Boris gets a hold of the Titanium Man armor, which he's called that because the armor itself is titanium, but they didn't have all the micro components to make it as good of a armor suit as Iron Man's, as Tony Stark's. So I really like how they kind of show that off in the figure because it's very asymmetrical. And what I mean by that is there's crap over here that's not over here, so it's all mismatched, and I really, really dig that. Number one, because, well, it really shows the thought in the sculptor's eyes of how do you portray not as good an Iron Man, and he's got these mismatched kind of ramshackle together parts, and this gives us a completely new sculpt, which is very, very cool. So real quick, just kind of looking at the figure. So when I say that he's asymmetrical, so if we look at his parts, especially like around the waist here, see there's that kind of little big piece there. That doesn't exist on that side over there. If you look at this forearm, he's got some pistons and stuff going on up there. Completely different from this one over here. The leg components are completely different. Even the components down here on the legs, completely different. And the feet look about the same. So yeah, definitely very cool. Even on the backside, it's that way. And I just really, really do appreciate that. I think that's just a great concept for a figure. Now, as far as articulation goes on this figure, it's very much like most of the other Marvel legend type toys. He doesn't have much of a rotation up and down on the head. It does go side to side really well. He's got a diaphragm joint up here, no waist. His arms don't go out very far because we got some components there. They go up that far. They're on a double jointed elbow. The wrists do twist. They move slightly in and out. This one does a lot more so because it doesn't have that big armor piece there. And he's got that much room on his leg. Goes about that far out, goes out that far that way. He has a double jointed knee. And then he's got ankle movement slight. Again, the armor is kind of hampering it, and not much as far as ankle pivot goes. But that's okay. He's big, he's bulky, and I like it. So taking a closer look at Titanium Man here, like I said earlier, I really like the sculpt on this guy. I like the Kirby crackle that's going on in his eyes there and some of the parts on his suit that kind of show the energy coming out. I think that is very, very cool. The sculpt, very well done. That whole asymmetrical mismatching of parts, ramshackle put together look, I think works well for the concept of this character and gives us, like I said, a very unique figure. We got some stars on his shoulders, looking really cool. I like the little centerpiece with the sickle around the energy part there, the arc reactor, the little green star, to kind of give homage to that whole neon green, lime green armor that he had in the comics. So looking at the middle section of the figure, again, we get some nice green detail around the arms. I'm super digging how the two forearms are very different. The waist has a bunch of different parts on it. Very cool. We get some green in the upper legs. Very, very nice. Just lots of really well done detail all over the figure. We get a little green on his booty and see some of that green in the upper thighs. Very well painted and sculpted. Finally, taking a look at his legs. Again, I like the green around the knees, the bulky armor, all the paneling. The feet are pretty much about the same, but the calves on the armor pieces are very different. Even in the back, it's more smooth on one side. We get pistons on the other. Just very, very different armor plating. It's like they had to slap together whatever they had available to make this titanium shell, and I just think that looks super sick. For comparison, here we have Titanium Man next to War Machine and the Hulkbuster. Well, the itty-bitty Hulkbuster. This is the one with the little 2-inch scale Iron Man figure that came out with the Age of Ultron, which I don't know where my regular Iron Man figure is. It's in a box somewhere, so we'll just substitute old War Machine here. Which, to be honest, the whole concept of Titanium Man to me is kind of makes him the Russian War Machine. He came second after Crimson Dynamo, and he's not quite as high-tech as the Crimson Dynamo, kind of like War Machine and Iron Man. So yeah, I'm sticking with that. It's the Russian War Machine. Now, if you notice, the big difference with this guy is he's quite a bit shorter than War Machine here and, of course, Iron Man from the Marvel Legends lines. And I don't know if that's purposeful or those movie lines were a little bit shorter. I think it's probably the latter, but once you get this guy up on a shelf with all the other figures, you really don't notice it because, well, a lot of the figures have height differences, and yeah, we'll just call it that. So is Titanium Man from the 2009 Iron Man movie a figure that you want in your Marvel collection? Well, you know, if you can find this guy cheap, I'm going to say sure. You know, unfortunately, he never made an appearance in the film. I would have liked him. I think he would have been probably one of the better villains. Maybe we'll get something like this guy in a fourth movie if they actually do one. But, you know, I like the movie realization of him. I think it looks cool. The asymmetrical design with all the ramshackle slapped together parts, I think looks really, really cool. I like the green as a nice homage to the comic version, but what really gets me is that Kirby crackle in the arc reactor on his chest and up in his eyes. I think that is really, really sick and definitely fun. So again, if you can find this guy cheap, Sure, it makes a great bad guy for Iron Man, and if you're looking to build like the Red Guard or Russian Avengers type thing, this wouldn't be a bad guy to, it wouldn't be a bad guy to put into it. Definitely pretty cool, but I would not pay more than retail for this for sure. So there he is, Titanium Man from the 2009 Iron Man movie toy line.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And as always, look for more videos in the future.